Alright, today we've got an exciting topic on integrating Tuya smart devices into Apple HomeKit. They are smart and synced, plus it's the perfect pair for my smart home. So let's HomeKitify your Tuya devices. Hello and welcome to my channel, which is all about building an affordable DIY smart home that supports the Apple HomeKit ecosystem. And I have done tons of tutorial videos that you can literally use right now. So pretty please do take a look and don't feel shy to like, share and subscribe to always follow along. Now it's no secret, but my home is literally filled with Tuya manufactured products. You know why? Because Tuya based products are affordable, easy to find, and if it fails, it doesn't cost me a dime to replace them. Now there are tons of vendors selling their products under different names, but all work within Tuya, which are Smart Life or Tuya itself. Now don't get me wrong, I ain't promoting them. In my case, Tuya devices have been the perfect pair with my smart home, and all of them can be controlled in Apple HomeKit via an awesome Homebridge plugin. And if you're like me, Tuya does solve my third world smart home problems. Let me know in the comment section if you feel the same as well. So currently, all of my home's outdoor lighting as well as the garage are all Wi-Fi GU10 bulbs. They are all RGB CW, which means they can emit in red, green, blue, as well as cold and warm white. Meaning, technically, they can support Apple's adaptive lighting feature, which I will show you in this video how to enable it as well. And the ones on the wall are all Wi-Fi as well, but only to RGBW, which means they can emit in red, green, blue, and warm white. Meaning, they will not support Apple's adaptive lighting feature. And besides those external lights, the rest of my other smart device types are all Zigbee based, but are all manufactured by Tuya. Now those include the smart electrical switches, the sensors in the ceiling, the blind motors installed in all of the rooms, and in some locations I also have installed inline modules to connect with dumb switches. Now the good news is that it didn't cost me a fortune to purchase and install all of them for my home. So in this video, I'll show you on how that is possible. Plus there's also a surprise to expose Tuya supported camera to Apple Home as well, but there are some caveats to it. So what are we going to cover in this video? I'll show you on how this integration works. We'll take a look at the plugin we will use and why am I using it. We'll go ahead and create a Tuya project and update the subscriptions. Then we will proceed to install and configure the plugin. And towards the end, we will look at some of the advanced features you can use and implement as well. So let's not waste any time and let's HomeKitify your Tuya devices. Now the first thing I want to do is quickly provide you an overview on how the integration works. So first thing, you need to have an active internet connection. You also want to make sure you always have your Tuya IoT platform always updated and linked to the app. So this way, all of the devices that you added are already linked to your IoT cloud project, and also all of the subscriptions are updated, which I will also show you in this video. Now, once you have the Homebridge plugin integrated, and the moment they are all exposed in the Apple Home app, you will definitely go and interact with them. So every time you interact with them and make any changes, that message goes over to Homebridge. Homebridge receives that message and over the internet sends that message to the Tuya IoT cloud services. And it's the Tuya IoT cloud services that interacts and changes the desired action that you had. Sense or change color, turn on and off a switch, or if you want to view the camera feed. It all goes through the IoT cloud services. And then from there, the state of the device is updated in Apple Home app. So at no point of time, you are directly interacting with the devices. There is no direct interaction. All of the interaction happens through Homebridge, which goes over the internet, which needs to be 24/7 online, and to the IoT cloud services. It may happen that in the Tuya app, the device is online, but in Apple Home, it shows up as no response. This is because the IoT cloud services is the one that gets the last state of the device, and that last state of the device is always sent over to Homebridge. So in some time, what you need to do is just refresh Homebridge to go and get the last state, or check within the iot.tuya.platform on what is the exact state. It may show as offline or online. So you want to make sure with this integration, Homebridge is just pulling the last state from the Tuya IoT Cloud project. At no point of time, Apple is interacting with the device. It's always through Homebridge. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and create that IoT cloud project and see how we can update those subscription services. Now, you want to go ahead and access iot.tuya.com. I've left a link in the description. If you have an account, fine. If not, you can go ahead and sign up for one. Now, this one is completely different for your Tuya app, so you'll have to go and create a new one. So I already have one. I'm going to log in. Now, once you're logged in, you want to go first to cloud. You want to go to development. Now, I already have an existing project for my home, so we're going to go ahead and create a cloud project. So we're going to give it a name, give it a description. We're going to give it industry. So we're going to select smart home. The development method, you have to custom and smart home. The documentation from the developer says to select smart home, but this keeps changing over time in the smart home options against the developer's documentation. So let's go ahead and select custom, and the data center, since I already configured one, it will automatically push me towards Western America data center. Now, just in case you don't know your data center, Tuya has a handy documentation that you can go and check where your data center is. Now, number one, if your region or country is not in this table, you by default will select Western America data center. And if you are from India, there is some additional documentation note on what is the preferred data center for you. Now, based on your country, it will tell you which of these belong to which data center. So if you don't know, the link is in the description. You can find out from there. Now, once that is done, let's go ahead and click on create. Now, this is where you have to go and select the specific API services for your home. By default, you get these three, but since we're setting up a smart home, you need a couple of those. Now, since I said they keep changing the arrangement, and if you look at the Homebridge developer documentation, he does tell you, if you have the time, you can select from those, but let's go ahead and select all. And then you're going to click on authorize. It'll take a couple of seconds to add them all. Now, once your cloud project is created, what we're going to do next is we're going to go and first update the subscription. So I want to touch base. I haven't done this in the previous video, so it's high time I cover it. So we'll go to cloud. We'll go to cloud services. Now, from time to time, you need to access this web page and just make sure the status of all of the services are online and in service. Okay. If they show as alerting, and this is something that's deprecated, so there's no point in updating it, you need to update the license. So in my case, a couple of months back in March, my IoT Core license was expiring. Now, this is the only subscription you need to update from time to time. That's what I've known from the developer's documentation, the Homebridge developer's documentation. So I have a prior recording which I had done in November. So the IoT Core, you'll see it as alerting. What you're going to do is go ahead and click on view details. And then from there, all we have to do is go ahead and click on extend trial period. We're going to select the extension to 6 months. Always select 6 months and make sure you have a reminder in your calendar. You're going to choose individual developer and less than 50. If you have more, just select them and then give it a project overview. Since you're here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Put in your contact details and then you want to click on submit. Now, once the extend trial period request has been submitted, you will see a notification saying that your application has been received and is going to be reviewed. Now, what you need to do is go ahead and just log out from the platform and log in back. And the subscription has been extended by 6 months right here. So my next expiration time is in November. Then I'll go ahead and need to extend this for another 6 months. There's nothing that we can do unless you pay for the subscription. But for the entire HomeKit integration, this is the core service you need to keep updating every 6 months. Now, once that's completed, we're going to go back to development, and now we're going to link the app to it. We're going to click on open project. We're going to go to devices, and we're going to go ahead and click on link to your app. We're going to click on add app account. It's going to generate a QR code. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up the Tuya app. With the Tuya app open, I'm just going to tap on the plus sign and I'm going to tap on scan. Tap on confirm login. Now from here, I'm going to tap on OK. Select the automatic link option and tap on OK. So here are all of the devices that show up as online. This is where the cloud services shows the device status. And this status is exposed to Homebridge, which then exports to HomeKit. If any of the device status changes offline, but still shows up as online on your local area network, it will still show as no response in Apple Home. So you have to always refresh and check how the status is. Now, what we're going to do is go next and get the Tuya plugin installed and configured. So we're going to go now to Homebridge and we're going to just go ahead and type Tuya. Once you type in Tuya, you're going to see a lot of plugins created, copied, and everybody is updating an incremental function for their own personal use. But what I realized over the last couple of months, and I've been using this for 6 months plus, this specific Tuya plugin, I always go and select the optimal plugin. And this plugin right here stands out the most. It's got the best support, is always being updated, and it's still in a beta version. And out of all of that, it supports a lot of devices. So let's go to the GitHub homepage and we can take a look at the supported devices. Now, this plugin also allows you to do a lot of advanced configuration based on data points, which I seen is very good. It gives you a local Tuya plugin configuration. However, it's still connected to the internet, which we will see in the advanced options. Plus, you also get the Apple's adaptive lighting feature. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to access my test environment. I have two Homebridge interfaces, and then I'm going to go to plugins and I'm just going to look for Tuya. Even when I search within Homebridge, you'll see that this Tuya plugin meets all of Homebridge standard as well, with the logo and all of the information. So we're just going to click on install. And one of the things of this plugin I like to highlight as well under issues is you want to read through this issue of local and no cloud support. Basically, the issue says that the developer is able to transform this plugin into a local one. When it's going to happen, nobody knows. This issue is open since November 16, 2022. So show your support to the developer. We need to encourage them to give us the best. So let's go ahead. We have the Tuya plugin already installed. What we're going to do is go to plugin config. We're going to go to Tuya account info. We're going to select smart home because that's the project type. We're going to go and get the access ID, which is under overview under the cloud project you created. The secret is the one below. A country code is where you belong. And we're just going to go ahead and add in the username and password. And then you want to select the app that way you have all your devices integrated. If it's Tuya Smart or Smart Life. So in my case, it's Tuya Smart. With that being said, all I'm going to do right now is click on save and restart Homebridge. Now, once Homebridge is restarted, it will go and get all of the devices. Well, if your credentials are all correct. If not, you'll have to go and check your username and password. And you'll see that it has imported all of the accessories and devices here. Now, if you have lights, you want to make sure to check one property if it supports adaptive lighting feature. If it shows RGB-CW, so red, green, blue, warm or cool white. So I have some of those lights. I have some lights that are only RGB-C, so they only do cool. So it doesn't do warm. So these are some of the lights differences you need to know to enable adaptive lighting. With that being said, let's go ahead and see how they look in the Apple Home app. So in the Apple Home app, we see that we've got the security camera. So it kind of takes time to get the feed into Apple Home. So that's the caveat, because again, it's going through the cloud services. You're never going to get it as real time and populating the snapshot. It has a mind of its own. So we're just going to keep this camera here and let's see when we're going to update it. Now from here, you'll see that all of the devices are exposed, and we can go now and control them in the Apple Home app. So there it is. So it took some time. It took a snapshot. The camera's right down. I've also enabled the pan tilt motion auto tracking, so it's kind of picking me up. But again, the snapshot takes time to update, not like the cameras in a local area network. So you can see it, but at the same time, you will not see it at real time. But what we're going to do first is all of the exposed, they're working in Apple Home app. I can interact with them. You'll see some B-rolls right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and take a look at that advanced features. So the advanced features that I'm going to cover in this video is what I've tested, and you can go ahead and test it. You need to remember that you need to know some JSON configuration. I'll show you how to do that as well, the basis, and then you can take it from there. So you're going to cover from here is hiding a device. We're going to add an adaptive lighting, and we're also going to look at changing a device category to make it functional. So the first one, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hide a device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the advanced section, and we're going to go and see where I can hide that device. So we're going to go ahead and copy this text. So I'm just going to hide a device and see, we're going to copy. We're going to go first to Homebridge, right? And most of the configuration does happen under the plugins settings, and we'll need to go to the JSON editor. I'm just going to go to the last line debug, and I'm going to paste it. So don't forget to put that comma, paste it. Now, under device overrides, this is where you're going to put in all of the IDs and nest all of the information within the device override section. So I'm going to go ahead and get the ID. So we're going to go to the Tuya IoT platform. We're going to go to devices, and the first information we need is the front deck device ID. So it's right here on top, copy, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, that's it. And we're just going to click on save, restart Homebridge. So you'll see in the logs that that device has been removed. So if I go now to Apple Home app, you'll see that it will disappear. I know for a fact that I can change its attributes to make it working again. So I can change the category. So if you go and look, there's an example of changing the category. The question is, how do I know the category? So we're going to go back to the IoT platform. We're going to copy the device ID. Go to cloud. We're going to go to API Explorer. It's the same place where you can get your Tuya LAN key. Query device details. Submit request. So right now, this is the assigned category, correct? So we need to go and correct this value. Maybe see if it's available in Tuya's documentation. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it where it is. So we go to supported devices, and here's the link. So these are all of the categories that the developer has added right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and take a similar light that I purchased, go back to Tuya IoT platform and see what's the assigned category there. You see it's DJ. So all I'm going to do is copy this value. I'm going to go to Homebridge. I will go under settings. I will go to JSON editor, and then I will just change the category to hidden. And now I'm going to click on save and restart. So this way, if you have a similar lighting fixture, you just have to copy paste the category. To get to know the category, you have to query the device details. So here it is, the front deck. Now I can control this lighting fixture all by changing its category. So when you left the vendor, it was not configured correctly. So this way you can change its category. Now the next one is adaptive lighting. You will see that automatically in the plugin logs, it will show you which of the lights have adaptive lighting enabled. So right now it's all as disabled. So since I know some of these lights support RGBCW, let's go ahead and at least pick one, and then you can replicate this for the rest. So I will go to my Tuya IoT platform. I know this light right here supports RGBCW. So I'm just going to copy the device ID. I will go back to the JSON editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a comma. So I'm adding one more override. I'm just going to copy this again, paste it, and then go back to Tuya, pick that device ID, paste it. And then under category, let's go back to the documentation. All we have to do is copy this value, go back to Homebridge and replace the category. And you want to make sure you remove the comma. If you have to add more lighting fixtures, you'll add a comma. copy this text and keep adding the IDs. Don't forget to put the comma, enter, paste. Homebridge automatically indents and formats for you and shows you where the error. So you see that red highlight, you just delete it, go to Tuya IT platform, copy the device ID. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and save and restart. So number one, in the logs, it will show you that's already enabled adaptive lighting for the light we had assigned. So I think it's corridor and also left gourmet. And also I forgot to mention about the log that changing the category from TYD to DJ. So if I go up to Apple Home app and if I go to lights, you'll see that the adaptive lighting is available right here. So it's that simple. As long as the light supports RGB-CW. There's a lot more to do. So you have to play around. And if you want to know the data points, you can also copy, go to device control, and you want to query properties. You just go the device ID under query properties. And this is where you can see all of the data points for each of the codes. So you can get all of this information. Be patient when you're playing with Tuya data points. It does get a little nerve-wracking. However, you can still get the job done through this plugin. And there you have it, folks. You've successfully integrated your Tuya smart devices into Apple HomeKit. It's an excellent way to centralize your control of your Tuya smart devices. I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Cheers and happy automation.